Our AI student driver just backed us out of the driveway, and I've plugged in a destination. We're gonna go to Hobby Airport. We're gonna see what this does. It is roughly 3:40 in the afternoon. Let's see what we got. An oncoming Walmart truck here. See how it handles this. That Walmart truck was very crazy to try to fit itself in there, but you know, again, no harm, no foul. But yeah, it's a beautiful day, Southeast Texas. We're gonna go to Hobby Airport, a typical destination for someone that might want to use Tesla's ride hail app, as we see a gorgeous Tesla cross our path. Looks fresh, brand new even, as there is no license plate on the back with the paper plate. Love to see it. The delivery numbers should be out in a couple of days. I'm really looking to knock the socks off of all of those that are trying to calculate and tabulate what Tesla's vehicle numbers will look like, not only here in the United States, but abroad. Golden number, 515,000 deliveries. I'm looking for something a little bit higher, but that's just me. Yeah, so yeah, New Year's Eve, I figured before I started celebrating the new year 2025, I figured I'd do some responsible video recording. When we went to Millie Bush Dog Park yesterday, we saw a few instances that I was able to put on X, made some shorts for the YouTube, and right now that my camera failed. So I brought the other camera just in case so I could swap it out at a Supercharger if need be. But the one GoPro did fail us, and I put as much of the video of it so you can get context before and after the shorts or what I posted on X. So hopefully by the time we get back, that video will have uploaded to YouTube. If not, it'll be another couple of hours after we get back. But so far so good. Our AI student driver is behaving exactly like I expected to. No surprises. And yeah, I got my co-pilot Chewbacca with me. He's behaving a whole lot better than he normally does. I think it's thanks to this strap, which I love. So he is secure, he is safe, just in case the unthinkable happens. But yeah, we're gonna ring in the new year properly. Considering he doesn't like the boom booms, I figured I'd give him a ride. We might stop at the dog park. I don't know where we would go, but hopefully it'd be somewhere close by. Another Tesla. And yeah, I just count them. Every time I see them, I look for new plates. I look for, you know, like my street is kind of really indicative to what the EV adoption rate is for the United States. I'd say it's about at 12% on my block, half of them being Teslas and the other half being Nissans, Cadillac Lyric, or even I think there's like a, I don't know, this small box car, whatever that is, that's electric. And I think there's a BMW or some ID4 type thing on the book. Either way, it's really indicative to what the US looks like. So I like the fact that my block is looking a lot like the US adoption rate. So catalog that in real time, ladies and gents. But yeah, stock is down today. I think we're very close to the 400 marker. 403 I think is where we closed the year at. The highs right now for Tesla is 48, so we're significant marker away from that. But whenever we have down days, I didn't buy any Tesla today. We're gonna see how Friday looks. I try to buy not just red days, but red weeks especially. So if I see there's multiple consecutive red days, I'll wait to the end of the week more or less, and if the week is still red, I'll buy. But that's just me, not financial advice. What I'm doing is good for me. Every dollar I put into TSLA, I don't expect to touch for the next decade at a minimum, maybe longer depending on our financial stability and retirement situation, but what works for me may not work for you. So really, you need to sit down and understand how much you're putting in Tesla, what the taxes would be if you were to place money in stocks or whatever, and then withdraw them early. You kind of want to go through the gambit of investing, because you could end up hurting yourself. And for me, I dabbled in options, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got burnt, but it was fun. I needed to do it and see to have that experience, right? I paid my tuition in that, and I may still buy an option here. I definitely do long options. Like I'll look 2 or 3 years in the future, and if, say, Tesla dropped back down to be $1 trillion market cap company, I will I will dig deep and find the money to place long calls that are 2 or 3 years out in front. So that's just me. We're gonna take this right to avoid this light. I love that our AI student driver does this. This is something that I do, especially when that light, it takes forever and we're backed up back here. The navigation knows that it's faster to go this way. We don't have the toll roads on. I do that on purpose until we get our DV plates, and then we can, you know, I'll put the toll roads back on and get a good assessment. But there's no need to get a letter in the mail or anything like that if, you know, if I can do it without. And plus, we kind of need this data, right? What is it? How fast is it with tolls? How fast is it without tolls? All of that. Beautiful day here in Southeast Texas. What I really need to do is wash this dang car. I haven't washed it since I got it. I am desperately due. So it'll be, maybe not today. We'll see. But it'll definitely be before the week's out. We'll get this thing, you know, cleaned up. Yesterday we had the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, our Tesla did some good things. We saw some humans do some bad things. And our Tesla did some ugly thing. Recommend at least watching the shorts, but if you want to get my narration of me going on my personal thoughts for whatever reason at the time, it's a good insight to my psyche and what I'm thinking about. But yeah, those were my 3 major highlights. Along the way, there were various different things that happened on the drive, so it might be worth checking out, you know, as long as it uploads, which I hope it is doing as we speak. We shall see. Again, our destination is the Hobby Airport. We're not going to the Bush Intercontinental. We're gonna check out Hobby first. If the navigation is correct, that is about 54 minutes away. So our GoPro is basically designed for an hour, as long as it doesn't overheat. We are doing the 4K, and sometimes our little GoPro Mini over here, it gets a little stressed, so I kind of monitor it, make sure. If it stops, I'm not going to try to NASCAR pit stop the camera. I'll just do it when we find a nice moment to stop, and I'll put in the other GoPro and hang it as best I can and try to resume. But I think we're ready. I think we can last until we get to a portion of Hobby, and then find a charging, maybe not even if we can find a supercharger, test out this Joa controller and see, you know, they gave me some troubleshooting, but I'm pretty sure I got a busted controller, which is unfortunate. I might try one more time with the controller, but you know, not everything's going to be good. I know some people that get Teslas and they're, you know, the satisfaction of the quality might, I've been fortunate, right? I'm not gonna say every car that comes off the Tesla line is pristine. I'm not jaded. I understand that any auto manufacturer is going to have trouble, but that's what Tesla Service Center is there to fix, what may have gotten shaken up in the line process, and we fix that. We don't bitch, we don't complain, we fix it, right? So I'm gonna do some of the troubleshooting that, you know, I just haven't had time. I'm gonna try to play with the controller if we get to a supercharging station, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and then, you know, we might just buy another one and hope the next one that comes off the line is better. But you know, it is what it is. The car in front of us is fairly huge. It's one of these U-Haul U-Box things. We're gonna try to get away from it, just like I would. Our AI student driver isn't crazy. It knows it doesn't need to be behind that vehicle, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. You know, there's nothing greater than knowing that you could buy Tesla at a discount and then step into a vehicle that can drive itself, knowing that 99% of the other vehicles around me cannot do it. That seems like opportunity, if you ask me. So, I know, man. It's kind of sad. But no folksy wisdom. It's just sad, Chewy. Nissans. What are these people with Nissans? I mean, your company is about to, the car that you have, their company is about to fold into Honda. Would that give you pause on buying another Nissan? I know it would for me. You might as well just buy a Honda, right? I mean, their lineups are pretty much the same. You either buy the Nissan Rogue or the Honda CR-V. Those are the same vehicles, if I'm not mistaken. But now they're owned by the same company where you just, I'm a Nissan man. That's what we do. I'm just a Nissan man. I don't know. Me personally, my history is I didn't own a vehicle. My dad was a Chevy man, so he gave me the Chevy while I was in high school. When I went off to college, I didn't have nothing. A lot of transportation of the public variety, right? I also went and did the college program down there in Orlando. Oh man, in previous builds, all these cars merging onto this road, our AI student driver would have just said, fuck it, and asked me to take over. But now we've got cars darting in and out of the lane. We got cars trying to merge. This is the most comfortable I've ever been on this road. We normally do our evening drive, and this is our path toward our standard evening drive. I don't think we've had to do one since we've gotten Stitchin 2.0, because there's no reason for me to go pick up baby girl from work now that I don't have the car. So this is nice. That was the first time I'd really experienced that on version 13. And at 4 o'clock in the afternoon roughly, I look good. I'll just buy more Tesla. Eventually the rest of the stock market and the rest of society will realize there is a better way, a safer way, a more efficient way to get from point A to point B. And until then, I can't have enough TSLA. That's how I think. So, yeah. Amazing. I forgot what I was even talking about beforehand, because that was just something I needed to relay. And now we're hopping right back up here, getting on I-10, and I do believe we'll stay on this until I don't know, 45? Maybe 45. But we are on the standard setting. That's my setting of choice. I think it's just not going to do as many frequent lane changes. I mean, but as you can tell, this thing is moving right along, doing what it's got to do. My idea when we're in standard is that we won't get into the fast lane unless this car in front of us is just going dirt slow. But even then, this is the comfort I seek, right? Flags are flying at half-mast. We lost a former president, Jimmy Carter, Nobel Peace Prize winner. Lived to be 100 years old. That's a full lot. I know the last couple of years were hospice type years. That's a pretty full life. You know, I could only hope. I'd like to be, you know, if we can get to 2042, I got this idea that most of humanity's lifespans will increase about 10 to 15 years. I'm talking about good years, not just, you know, waiting to die years. So we get to 2042 with the advent of artificial intelligence. You're talking about mapping the human genome. These drugs that target specific markers, like the GLP-1s. Yeah, that's the beginning. We're gonna start targeting aging. We're gonna start targeting all this other stuff. And you get to 2042, all bets might be off, right? We'll see what happens. And I just want to be around for it. Like, this is an exciting. Any time that you're alive is an exciting time to be alive. But something tells me we in the next 20 years or so, we're going to be in store for some massive leaps in how we get around and who we are as humanity, right? It's going to take on a different meaning with the advances of artificial intelligence and technology, right? So that's the goal. You want to be in the safest thing, especially when you're on the freeway, flying at 75 miles an hour. We get out of the fast lane. That's the main thing I want my standard AI student driver to do, is to not occupy that left lane if we don't need to be flying, right? And we're still going pretty fast on the freeway, keeping up with the flow of traffic. But for me to have to tell it to get out of the fast lane, I think standard is my thing. The vehicles in front of us have to be going just ridiculously slow for us to want to move over. And once we pass the ridiculously slow people, let's get back over into this lane and find a cruising speed again. We've seen cracks in the German automakers. We've seen cracks in the Japanese legacy automakers. We're seeing the Chinese automakers, they're going to be, let's just say it's going to be like Highlander over there, where there can only be one, or very few, so to speak, right? So a lot of those EV startups that have rise over there, they're either going to make it or they're not. And there's not going to be a long runway for them. I'd say you got 2025 is going to be the culling of a lot of car companies. It's going to start becoming apparent that you're going to have to, you know, car companies outside of Tesla, BYD, you're gonna have to buckle up, Buttercup. And even then, you know, Tesla's going to start taking these regions by storm. I get it. In the United States, EVs, we're kind of stubborn as Americans. I get it. But when the car starts driving itself, and you're in something that doesn't break down nearly as much as an internal combustion engine, doesn't have nearly as much maintenance, right? These things are moderately expensive, I get that. But if you're buying a brand new internal combustion engine, I have to look at you and go, why? Why did you do that, right? Or even if you're buying a used internal combustion engine, I would buy a used Tesla AI3 before I bought anything that could not drive itself. The technology, even in a AI3 scenario, is far better than anything that does not have it. Like, I've grown accustomed to version 13, which is just ridiculous. Like, this truck wants to get over. I'm glad he sees me, but even then, we have enough space. I know my AI, my AI student driver is going to get into this next lane if this vehicle starts acting like a dumbass, which is possible. You know, who knows what he's doing in the truck? He could be eating a late lunch. He could be on the phone with the boss. You know, he could be changing the radio station to why he can't maintain his lane integrity. But I don't have to worry about that shit. I could easily press a button and be like, let me listen to some Paul Wall. I mean, we're not doing it right now because, you know, I'm talking to you fine people, but the best luxury is going to be technology. So the more intuitive the car is, the more luxurious it will seem to the consumer. It's going to take a while. It has taken a while. Longer than I thought the US. I thought the US would be adopting these Teslas like hotcakes, and it's been a slow roll for 2024 despite having the federal tax credit, these state incentives. They just haven't been hitting. You know, we still selling vehicles, but not to the level I assumed it would be. But that doesn't mean it won't ever. I fully expect Teslas to continue to dominate the EV market share, but that's small potatoes. I want to dominate the total automobile market share. I want to see that rise to 10%, like overall new vehicles sold being 10% Tesla, 15% Tesla, 30% Tesla. That's what I see in the next 5 to 6 years. And let's just say that's a mighty lucrative ordeal for TSLA. And don't get me wrong, I see them. I see them out and about here in Houston, Texas, a very liberal city when you're talking about Texas. But these these folks down here in Houston, down here in the heart of Texas, your politics aside, there are people that detest Elon Musk. And I meet them. I am not a registered Republican. I don't have a lot of Republican views. But you know what I do have? I have a brain. And it don't take me all day to recognize, sunshine, that this is the best vehicle you could possibly be in. If you care about your safety, you care about performance, and you care about the new luxury, which is technology. There's no way you couldn't pay me to be in these vehicles that aren't Teslas out here. You couldn't pay me. Whether they be EVs or not. It's not about an EV. It's about this being the best thing on 4 wheels. Range Rover, I don't give a shit. You couldn't pay me. We pulled over right now and they were like, you know, let's swap cars. I'd be like, fuck no. And that's just me personally. Everybody's got their dream car. I talked to my nephew. He's like, I want a Charger. And I was like, what the fuck does that I mean, is it a mindset? Is it a, you know, you're just a gearhead? Or, you know, to me, that shit don't even matter no more when you're not driving. And then you can think about the other implications. When I was talking to him about, what do you think we could do with this car when it no longer requires somebody to be in the front seat? I could just put this thing on patrol mode. Just put it on patrol mode and slap the side of some small business on the side of it with a skin, and then have it patrolling downtown at, you know, key areas, the museum district, the you know what I mean? It becomes truly invaluable. It's a moving billboard. Not to mention, it can shuttle people for fares. There's an endless possibility, especially when the society has been centered around the automobile. The entire civilization of America, and no matter what city you're in, no matter how rural it is designed around the automobile. And now Tesla is on the verge of doing something that's never been done before, allowing this thing to traverse by itself the possibilities are truly endless, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to be at the forefront of it. So you couldn't pay me to be in anything but that thing over there, which is a Tesla. All this other stuff doesn't matter in my eyes. But that's just me. Safer than a Subaru, more performative than a Porsche, more reliable than a Toyota. Oh yeah, and the motherfucker drives itself. It doesn't take me all day to recognize sunshine. We're about 30 minutes away according to the navigation. It must be some fairly decent wind up there because we are whipping. You can kind of feel it tugging at us a bit from the top. So mind that and be a little bit careful. Note, if we were on the freeway, this would go a lot faster if we took the toll, but we're going to forego that. The wind, I can kind of hear it now too. It's got to be strong up there. Let's get some of this good data. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's like turbulence. It feels like I'm in an airplane with turbulence, is what it feels like. But I can hear the wind whipping. Love to see what the wind is like. So maybe I could take a look on my watch. Eight miles an hour. That's not too bad. It said 8 miles an hour. But you can really feel it. I'm paying attention, car. I promise. Yeah. Oh, gusts of 15 miles per hour. A consistent 8 miles per hour wind with gusts of 15 miles per hour. Yeah, and you can feel it. When you're in the car, I can feel it. It's significant. So hopefully that the Tesla team, they are going to utilize some of this gusty wind data. Getting there. We're getting there. Alright, so we're coming up on the hard drive at 5 essentially. It's 4 o'clock now. New Year's Eve. The traffic's a little higher than I anticipated, but I imagine it's going to get a whole lot worse around 5 p.m. Part of me, I mean, this would be one hell of a night to Uber too. I'm not there yet. We gotta at least get my license plates on these cars, on this car, before I start thinking about going through the paces with Uber. I've already had driven Uber. I'd say in around 2016 or so, 17, something like that. Excuse me. I had the Hyundai Sonata hybrid, and I figured saving on gas, I could, you know, put some miles on the car, but I'm not gonna hold you. Driving really wasn't my thing. Like I didn't even put too many miles on that car because I would take some people to the airport occasionally, but I wasn't going to do this for 12 hours. I mean, I would do it when I was bored, or like, oh man, I should probably do it until I make this amount of money. Now, without having to drive, I could probably do this all day. You know, maybe, you know. Let's just say I'd be able to do it a little bit longer than I did when I had to manually drive. So, I think I will. You know, I think 2025 we should see an unsupervised version of FSD by somebody. Maybe not me, but I'd like to believe that we will see a version of it in the great state of Texas, along with some areas in California. And when the proof is in the pudding, by then I expect to fully see feature complete for sure. So definitely by Q3 of 2025, FSD is going to be so feature complete. Like all the nuances of how to park, you know, it already can reverse, but I'm talking about banish, like natural summon. I don't know what they're gonna call that, but when I can banish it and there's no vehicle in the car, and then I can bring it to me, even if I could do that in a parking lot, that would be crazy. But I'd love to send that thing across town, banish it to my mom to pick her up to go do groceries. After you know, she has control of the vehicle, so to speak, and I can kind of monitor it because I own the vehicle. But, you know, she would have the Tesla app and she would go in there and create profile settings. This is what I mean by feature complete, right? So I believe by Q3 of 2025, in the Tesla app, we'll be able to banish these vehicles, summon them from much greater distances. The further the better, but right now, being able to banish it in the park, say it takes me up to the front door of HEB. I get out, I should be able to press a button and tell it to go park itself. At a minimum, I want that level of banishment. And then I could press a button and have it pick me up in the exact same location it dropped me off. That's what I'm talking about by feature complete when you're talking about autonomous, unsupervised, you know, setting. So Q3 2025, that'll come faster than we expect, but I expect when they start increasing the model size and really utilizing the AI4 hardware, we're gonna see an uptick in not only comfort but functionality. Things that, you know, when I pull up into the garage, my windows fold in, it'll be second nature like that. I don't even think about it. My windows fold in, we go into the garage. It'll be so second nature that a lot of this stuff will just be automated, you know. Whew. Times they are bright for TSLA and Tesla the company. All right, so looks like we're gonna be going on 45. It's not that bad over on this side, but we still need to be paying attention. My spidey sense is tingling. Got to make sure we do the right things at the right times. Looks like we're going to be taking this exit, 445, not going north, but going south. Should we be going to Bush Intercontinental, we might have gone over there, but our destination is the Hobby Airport. 45's always a monster. I don't care what time of day it is. 45's a monster. But we gotta be someone. We gotta be somewhere. So we're gonna get up on here and put it through the paces. These cars over here, they don't fuck around. You either get in or you get got. Yeah, buddy. Back when I was going to U of H, I would travel this, and it would be anxiety to get past this beautiful skyline. There'd be so much anxiety about what's the best lane to be in. Am I gonna be late for class? I need to, you're just worried about a car trying to sideswipe you. Nobody's caring about what you got going on. Everybody's got their own thing that they're doing and their own anxiety to deal with. Me, I fully trust that my car is not going to hit that car. I fully trust, despite the road rage and the distraction that it causes, I'm in the safest. Right now, we've got the sun beaming into our front cabin. I'm ready to take over if it gives me the red hands. And if it does, it'll be because our window is, you know, kind of spotchy, got some residue from water, and this sun is just beaming. I should have, well, I got transition lenses, so I guess I do have on sunglasses. Tint will be a must before the summer. I think I can go a few more months before the sun reaches its apex in mid-July. We've got bumper-to-bumper traffic here. I can't wait when 40% of the vehicles on the road are autonomous. It's going to create so much more order when we're talking about this right here. Yeah. So far, there hasn't been any real super special things, except this right here. I'll probably film this if the camera is catching half of the glare that I'm getting from the sun at this angle. This will be worth showing that I don't get red. I haven't gotten red hands on version 13 at all, period. And I've been driving sunrise, sunset. That was probably the worst glare I've had on version 13. So I'll probably film that. That would be my good part of this drive. When I'm driving for more than an hour, I expect there to be some good. I expect to see some bad humans shit. And I expect there to be something ugly that our AI student driver does that I would have to intervene for. But so far, halfway through the trip, I mean, we got 18 minutes left before we reach our destination. Things have been pretty solid. I think we're past the sun glare, right into the windshield, beaming on us. Well, I tell you, those engineers at the AI team, those are the best and brightest. Those are the best and brightest. Alright, so this is where my anxiety would kind of wane as I'm going to U of H. We'll make some trips to U of H. I haven't been to the bar in a while, but that's going to be contradictory to what I got to do in the next couple of months, right? I'm gonna try to get my workout on, get my swole on. Maybe I'll visit. You know, one shot of tequila probably won't be too damaging, right? But see, the problem is, one shot tequila, 2 shots more. You know what I mean? So it's probably best for me to just stay away from it. And this software. We were on a space the other day and people were talking about, you know, Tesla eventually giving this away for free. I guess they could, you know, but it's going to come to a point where licensing FSD and then the ride-hail business where you're charging per mile, basically, you're going to be the cheapest thing, the safest thing. They're going to get money from companies. They're going to get money from consumers. They're going to get money from every which way, right? The revenue streams are just going to start just unloading, right? And it just piling up. And there's just going to be so much money that Tesla doesn't even know what to do with it. I'm pretty sure they'll have some ideas, but I just don't see how people could be bearish if they're like, let's take a look inside this Tesla, see if we can see if this guy's driving. Oh, it's a lady, and she might have had her hands on the wheel, but she seemed to be in a comfortable position. But you know, it feels like she's driving, maybe. I don't know. That's the beauty of a Tesla. You really don't know if they've got these software engaged or not. U of H would have been over there, so we stay on 45. I guess technically some exits, I don't know. It's been so long. I imagine there'd be some exits that allow me to get to U of H from over here as well. Cullen's up top. Right. University of Houston, 2 exits. I guess that's the mainstream way to get there. Not a lot of, nothing so outstandingly bad. From our human drivers during this drive. That's good. Vaping and driving. What could possibly go wrong? You've been good, man. Can't even argue that. You've been real good today. Buddy, we'll get you some water when we find a place to stop. Per our navigation, we're a little less than 10 minutes from William P. Hobby Airport. I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pretty carefree drive, despite the tough spot that 45 puts us in sometimes. I-10 being fairly busy. And I'm not even tired. Like, a trip to the airport before FSD would be exhausting. Now it's almost like a joy. It's hard to explain. It really is. It's been a long time since I've been on this side of Houston, to say the least. Need to find a way to meet up with JC. We're gonna figure this out. You know, freshly retired, I really don't have a lot going on. in that retired bucket. But you know, I'm a pretty big penny pincher. That's how I was able to retire. I didn't work till I was in the twilights. Yosh chooses to work. She really doesn't have to work, but then we started investing in Tesla and started seeing a brighter path. I see her working for as long as she wants. I don't want another boss. I don't want nobody telling me what I have to do, unless it's to further Tesla's mission. It's the only company I'm willing to service again. You know, I was in the Navy, and for anybody in the Navy, the acronym is Never Again Volunteer Yourself. As we take exit 40B, and our AI student driver got over here. Some people complain about the highway driving of FSD 13. I don't get it. Like, exiting has been phenomenal. Driving on the highway with 15-mile-an-hour gusts of wind, did it better than I would. And I didn't even have to touch the steering wheel, and had the confidence that it wasn't going to hit nobody. I don't understand. Just hit this exit over here. Gonna head to Broadway Street. We've been filming for almost 50 minutes now. We will switch out the cameras once we get to the nearest Supercharger to Hobby. You know, we'll pick one that is good. Maybe we'll play a little beach buggy. Try to, you know, see if the controller works. If not, we'll do what we can with the steering wheel. At least try to get in the top 10. It's been a tough go without the controller being, let's just say, adequate. So we should be trying to turn right up here. I don't think we need to turn on Park Place. So maybe that's why we're in this lane, because I think it's past Park Place. Is this the car my nephew wants? Fucking ridiculousness. I don't know. Who am I to judge? Yeah, so we're coming up here, and we can turn right from this lane. All right, before I judge, I should know exactly what we can and can't do. The car was just fine when it comes to planning, that is. Yesterday there was a planning error. That was part of the ugly. We're in a turn left only lane, and our AI student driver proceeded to go straight in a turn left only lane. We got that on camera. We posted it. I try not to just post the good. I want everything. I want everything. Good, bad, ugly. Everything. I want to showcase it all to show that, you know, the progress is what we're after, and the human progress is on an opposite end of the spectrum. That's the bad. Humans are terrible drivers, and we're not getting any better. Just not. The only way is to remove the human element from the task of driving. So with the good, you know, somebody posted on there, a computer does the same thing a human does. Trying to be glib, right? Okay, let me educate this dumb mop. This clown. the fact that the computer is doing it as well, if not better than a human, is something to contemplate, considering if the human is distracted or tired or inebriated, it would damage the vehicle and those around it. So yeah, watching a computer do what a human would do is fucking amazing. Especially when you're talking about in the long term, being able to not drive ever again. So the good, the bad, and when Tesla FSD messes up, we need to see it and we need to understand it. Light just turned yellow. It did not hesitate. It did not pause. The light was still yellow as we crossed through the intersection, exactly like a human would do. But it's amazing because I gain more confidence that it will do it even if I'm in the back seat without causing injury. If there was somebody running a light while that light is yellow, I'm confident that our AI student driver is going to make the best decision because it can see all around the vehicle with its 8 cameras. 8 eyes compared to my 2, which basically give me tunnel vision to look forward, right? I have to look forward where this thing can look left, right, back, all at the same time, giving us an image of what it sees. And it sees way more than what we see it seeing. Yeah, it is quite amazing when a computer behaves in a similar fashion with the complex task of driving as a human, but better. But that's all right. I'm here to educate. If you don't understand, please leave a comment down below. I'm more than grateful to impart a little bit of wisdom. All right, so we're pretty much here. Like, it's taking us to hobby. No hitch in the giddy up, ladies and gentlemen. But let's see what it does, how it behaves when it's trying to get us to the destination. Like, basically we're here. But when you're talking about a robo-taxi dropping us off at the terminal, right? I mean, hobby's small, so it's not like it's terminal A, B, C, D. Here again with the big sun in our eyes. Still no red hands, right? You got the passenger drop off here with the valet parking. Passenger pickup clearance. See, this is where it's gonna get a little hazy for me. Like, I don't come to hobby very often, but now it's got a decision to make and I have to be paying attention. And it got us over here to departures. Oh, okay. That is something that needs to be worked on. It was going to take this exit over here and, you know, maybe added, like, if I put in George Bush Intercontinental Airport, it'll tell me terminals, right? And this is where we get to the point where, you know, when we get to the destination, right, there's things we can do inside the destination that makes it a little bit, hope they're not looking for an Uber driver like mine. Take me to the nearest supercharging station. You know, we took over, and when we took over, it's very possible I could have, how do I put this? I could have caused some damage to the vehicle because me taking over, instead of just letting the car ride it out, it wasn't gonna hit anything. It just wasn't going in the right direction, right? All right, so I need to figure out where our next charging station is. Let's try this one. But yeah, we got the hobby. Maybe if there's some feature complete situation where we can tell it to drop us off at the passenger drop off or park or something of that nature, it would probably be a little bit better. But even still, it got us to exactly where we needed to be, driving for over 55 minutes basically. Now we're headed to the nearest Tesla Supercharger. Mainly so we can change out a camera and then get us to a dog park in this region. We might be looking up dog parks here in a second. Give Chewy a new area to play in. But you know, again, not perfect, but that's what we're working on. That's what the goal is. Constant progression. It was looking like it was gonna go to the passenger drop-off, but it got confused as hell when it tried to get to the destination for what Hobby Airport is. It's an experience. I'd never really plugged in that address before. I've never tried, so you know, lesson learned. With the next iteration, the next update, we can have better navigation. We can have, you know, commands that tell it exactly what to do at that particular destination. Oof. What a streets. Poorly constructed streets over here. Despite the last 100 feet, that was a pretty good trip to Hobby Airport from Katy, Texas. I'm satisfied. I enjoy it. We're in the middle of a school zone. There are no flashing lights, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. I like that. Just crossed an hour with the GoPro. It's not gonna last much longer than this. I'm kind of impressed it's lasted this long with the 4K, but we're only 3 minutes away from the supercharging station where we will switch cameras, see how that works, and then we'll head to a dog park of some sort. Might be closer back to home, or you know, if we can find a pretty decent one over here, we'll go to that. But my guess is we go back to Millie Bush. That's what my inclination is telling me. It's a good spot in between here and Katy. Give him some ample time to run around. Last time we got there, kind of like twilight. We didn't get a lot of time to spend there. Alright, so we got these green arrows. Spidey sense is super tingling because I don't traverse this area very often. Looks like we're finna... I don't think we can do that because this vehicle is here. So we got another disengagement here. All Are there superchargers over here? These speed bumps are ridiculous. What are we doing? There are superchargers. I think I'm about to take over here. Oh, we found a new good. We found a new good, ladies and gentlemen. This thing found itself in a precarious situation, backed the hell up like a juvenile song, and fixed itself. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what I'm talking about when we're getting so much closer to feature complete. That is absolutely amazing. And the camera is still going. That's awesome. And there are superchargers over here, so that's nice. Let's see what it does, see how it handles it. By the Bank of America? Let's see what we got. Is it going to park itself? Oh, like there's not a lot of superchargers here, so I don't feel like I should be taking up a supercharging station. But we did get here. We don't need to charge. So take me to Millie Bush Dog Park. It's a nice spot in between here and Katy, Texas. We can get Chewbacca relieved, head back home, feed him, and do what we got to do to get ready for our New Year celebration tonight. 2025, excellent year for Tesla, and hopefully it's an excellent year for everybody. So let's go ahead and get started with this, shall we? We found our good as we were coming to this supercharging station. There was some bad. I don't know if I want to put the AI student drive. This area over here is crazy, right? There was an impatient car that blocked our entry point, which would have been right around this area. It blocked us from coming over here. All right, so now our car is letting this car go, and we are in a position where we need to move. But I don't know, it's being very courteous. Like it doesn't want to instill a bad situation. Hopefully the camera setting that we got here is pretty good. Our suction cup, and the other one is just so much better, the camera setup. So we might have to invest in some kind of different setup. But our AI student driver is handling these unprotected lefts, these oncoming vehicles, really well. But the coup de grace, the best thing I've seen on version 13 so far is our AI student driver had to go in a roundabout way to the supercharging station. It did so, and then it got caught, right, in a precarious situation where if it proceeded forward, it was gonna mess up my car. So I was really ready to take over, and then I hear the car go into reverse, and it's like Clark Griswold watching his house light up after all of the anxiety, all of the turmoil, and you get this moment of joy that it's hard to suppress. You know, this is one of the, we got a yellow light, and our AI student driver, I felt it speed up right there just to make sure it got through that intersection while the light was yellow. Might have been turning red at the end, but I don't think any cop would give us enough grief for that one. So yeah, we got some good throughout some of the bad, right? I'd say the impatience of the human driver causes more accidents. I had to disengage because there was no place for my car to go, even though that was what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to turn left to get to that supercharger, but impatient driver just said, you know, you're not going to do that today. So we had to take over, and I'd love to see what our AI student driver does, but I can see it faster than what our AI student driver can, and I did not want to risk any more confusion, but that's not the fault of our AI student driver. That's an example of bad human driving. Doing what you're not supposed to do and potentially causing an accident because of it. Now, some of the ugly, right? We put in a destination of Hobby Airport, and when we got to Hobby Airport, our car really did not know what to do. So that's ugly, right? That's the last 100 feet that if we're going to be a ride-hail service, it has to go off without a hitch, right? At least being able to get to a point, right? And Hobby Airport is one of those popular locations. Maybe not as popular as Bush Intercontinental, but people fly Hobby, right? And they're gonna wanna take the cheapest per mile, especially a Cybercab. You can put all your luggage in there. It will be a stop. So, you know, we're gonna show that. The ugly, I don't know if that's enough for the bad, like, but that is just the impatience of that driver could have caused us to have a wreck. But without that, we wouldn't have never got to see the good, because we wouldn't have been in that situation had that driver not been impatient. So I think we got something here. We're gonna do good, bad, and ugly, because again, our AI student driver is not perfect. No more perfect than a 15-year-old with their permit. We still have to be paying attention. No matter how good that driver seems, it still ain't got its license yet. And we are responsible. As long as it's supervised, I am responsible. And that's what you got to make sure, right? I'm not going to let it do anything that's going to hurt me or the car. The car is too expensive for that. So I won't let it hurt me, my occupants in the vehicle, or itself, right? Or hurt anybody else. That's my job as the supervisor. But watching this thing grow over the past couple of years, it's been I can only imagine how prideful the AI team is with this baby, you know, and they've done such a wonderful job, and I'm proud just to be testing it. I'm just happy they allow me to experience this alien technology, essentially. It's like, this is insane. 5 years ago, when purchasing my first Tesla about 5 years ago, I didn't even think it would be able to drive itself until I started following the company a little bit afterwards. 5 years ago, if you told me I would be driving down 45 without my hands on the wheel, more comfortable than I'd ever been driving down 45, I'd have called you a bold-faced liar and laughed in your face. But hey, look where we are now. Look where we are now. How long does it take? So we're about 40 minutes out from getting to the dog park. We're gonna keep filming. Maybe there's going to be some worse aspects of human driving. I mean, there's plenty to look at. Maybe there'll be another golden good spot, or who knows, there might even be something a little more ugly than the last 100 feet of us trying to get to Hobby Airport. We're just gonna keep the camera rolling. I'm gonna still be jibber jabbering, and Chewbacca's still gonna be trying to climb into my lap. You have to stay over there, buddy. You have to stay over there. Almost ready. We're gonna get you there. I know that it's been a long car ride. Very long car ride. We got a little bit longer, and I promise it'll be worth the wait, buddy. I promise. I probably should have let you out, but I didn't want to have to go through all the snaps and widgets. So let's make it worth it. Get you something to drink and be straight. Never get tired of seeing the Houston skyline, no matter what the angle. So we got our spider sense tingling, just making sure everything looks good. We're gonna hit I-10 in about 3 miles. Hopefully the camera's not shaking too. I swear, this setup and this part of 45/I-10, it's a bumpy ride. So we'll take a look at it, and I'll be trying to do the best I can to keep this thing from moving. But you know, we make do with what we got, and what we got is an AI student driver that is remarkable. 13.2.2.1 alien technology. If you haven't experienced, I recommend. I think if you can go to any showroom, most AI4 cars, they probably got version 13 attached to that mine. So go ahead and in there and be like, you got any version 13 cars in there? Those showroom guys, they might not, they might be like, oh, you a little wise beyond your years, eh? You know, make sure you go give it a try, especially if you got money invested in TSLA. You need to know what this thing can and can't do. I can show you all day till I'm blue in the face. Talk about it all day till I'm blue in the face. But you really don't know what you're missing until Tesla stock shoots up 70%, and you think it's off the back of an election, which partly, but it doesn't matter who's in office when the technology works, you know. And Tesla's gonna pave the way. If you've got a better driving software, yeah, Tesla's gonna pave the way for you. The best technology will win. There was another comment saying, well, Elon Musk is going to destroy his competitors now that he's part of, you know, Trump's White House. And I was like, that's just the dumbest thing you could possibly say. There's no way he's going to have so much influence that he's able to crater Rivian or loot. They're doing a fine job of that themselves. The legacy auto manufacturers, yeah, they're going to sell plenty of ICE cars, plenty of hybrids, until they don't. And that's not going to be because Elon Musk gave them a disadvantage or gave his companies an advantage. No. They're doing this. This is going to play out regardless of who's in office. If the technology works, you're going to have a path. Waymo, beauty about Waymo is they're growing, and it's nice to see. But as Kendrick Lamar would say, they not like us, right? What they're doing is something totally different. I wish a Waymo could take me from my garage to Hobby Airport and then turn around and do what it did at the Supercharger to take me to a dog park off the roads down Westheimer in the heart of Houston, Texas. Right now, I don't see it. It's tough for me. I know what Waymo's doing is nice, and I'm sure it's very functional in certain areas that they deem it works. But you can't even be on the freeway on that shit. They not like us. So, but Waymo is they're carving a path for what these municipalities expect from a driverless service. Cruise, they had to disband that shit. And it's because the technology doesn't work, not because somebody doesn't like them. If the technology works, it doesn't matter. Regulators will, 40,000 plus deaths on US highways, regulators will jump at the chance to knock that number in half, let alone down to zero. I mean, it'll never be zero, right? There's so many anomalies or whatever. But to knock it down, shave it off, even 40, 30, 20%, that's a win. And what Tesla's doing now with this autonomous, generalized solution that can go rural, go on the highways, city streets, and it's only getting better, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be able to expand much faster than what Waymo could possibly dream. And they're moving about as fast as they can with the limited technology that they're working with, needing these super sensors to compensate for their lack of, well, in Tesla's case, neural nets and data, right? They're doing it with pure vision. This car feels so much better than when I'm driving. I've never been in a Waymo, and I can't wait to give it a whirl, because I will. Let it be in Houston. I will. Let me be in Austin, and it's there. Wherever I'm at, if Waymo is a service, I will use it because it's better than me driving, 100%. And you guys don't want me driving anyway, so you're welcome. But they're not like us. Don't get it twisted. Waymo is not what this is. What I'm showing you, they're not like us. But when Tesla does it, it's not going to be because they copied somebody else. They trailblazed this vision-only system, utilizing the breakthroughs in compute, right? You take the NVIDIA chips and you put them to work. That's what all of these tech companies are trying to do. That's why NVIDIA is the most valuable company in the world. People are trying to take what they've made and do something special with it. Tesla's going to be, I mean, it's the biggest AI project in the world. I think that's Dan Ives says. He's right. This is the biggest AI project in the world. To remove the human element from the complex task of driving, the only thing that would be more impactful is in medicine, right? To cure aging, to cure illness. It's the only other impact that would, you know, when you're talking about direct lives to lives ratio, right? Right now, this is it. By 2042, maybe we can have some 100-year-olds still living their best life. That's what I'm talking about. So it's a great time to be alive. Procreate. Make as many babies as we can. Make them smart. Make them curious. Make them compassionate. Make them empathetic. And humanity has a bright future. Your kids today will make sure that, oh, wow, that might make the clip. That Ford, just a bad fucking driver, almost caused an accident because it needed to get onto the tollway. Oh man, that's gonna be rough. Bad driving. Good, the bad, and the ugly, baby. Just going to be less ugly clips, I'm for sure, as we proceed through 2025. We'll see. Pretty sure the bad clips will multiply alongside the good clips of FSD. We shall see, though. Shout out to Alexander. This is my IKEA. Or as my wife would say, IKEA. right, it's a little after 5 now. This is the hard drive at 5 for the Houston area. A lot of people getting off work at this time. I mean, it is New Year's Eve, so it's technically a holiday. But yeah, I have a feeling people are trying to get to where they're going to be for their New Year's Eve celebrations, which makes this even more of a hard drive, to say the least. So, man, I love being in the car with FSD on. I love it. It's a window into the future. If the wind stays where it is, if it impacts the fireworks too much, we'll see. But it's gonna be a beautiful night for fireworks. We're not gonna be popping them too much, but we should be able to see them from our humble abode, from people popping them in locations they probably shouldn't be popping them. That's fine. We'll have our sparklers, we'll have our champagne. We'll bring in 2025 properly. Hope you're not getting seasick there, Chewy. Just a little wind. Just a little wind. Got a little bit, like 20 minutes before we get to Millie Bush. I mean, this is hours of FSD getting us to and fro. You know, minimal engagement on my end. We're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep doing it, keep spreading the word. I'm spreading the news. We're driving today. We got that old mahogany. Houston, Houston. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little delirious. I don't know what else to do. I appreciate you guys being with me. If you're still watching, you're still listening. These long one times 4K videos, I just want them to be unedited. You know, you get the full experience every time I take over. Every time I go, oh shit. You know, I just want you to really try to get a glimpse of what it's like to have the car drive itself and you just supervise. To me, this is an invaluable service that Tesla provides, and it's just in a beta software. So the higher my comfort rate, the higher I know my neighbor's comfort rate will be. You know, driving in these similar spots and locations, you can't really ask for it. I want everyone to experience this, not just for the safety, but for the peace of mind, right? Just like, I know I would want to invest in a company if, you know, if I knew what they were doing, right? This is kind of behind the scenes. Not every everyday Joe knows what Tesla is doing. They just, I'm just gonna keep posting videos and spreading the word until I'm blue in the face. Like, if one person learns something from these videos, that's all that really matters to me. I'm not here to get rich from YouTube, but it is a platform that allows me to reach potentially, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions, you know, one day. But I'm gonna just keep posting it. And I think JC, he said it in the Space Watch, he's like, you know, I may look crazy, I may sound crazy, but in 10 years I'm gonna look like a goddamn prophet. And he ain't wrong. In 10 years from now, we're gonna look back at this and see, when was this video published? 2023, 2024, and so on. They're gonna be like, holy, these guys knew. Whoa, why didn't anybody tell me? Well, we're trying to get it out there. So every time I see a video with the car driving itself, I try to take a look, a gander. I'm definitely gonna give it a like and try to spread that information to as many people as I possibly can. You know, I don't want, my excuse isn't gonna be, well, I didn't know. And if you're close to me and you say you didn't know, I'm gonna laugh in your face, because I've been preaching for a long time. Preaching. All right, looks like we're gonna try to take Highway 6. Oh, at 5 o'clock? Some Highway 6 action too? All right, we're gonna have to make it do what it do, baby. I mean, exiting properly. I haven't had one problem for exiting. I haven't had one issue about lane keeping. Normally I'm like, why are we in this lane? Why we gotta do this? You know, just at these intersections, the planning. Like, if I'm in a turn only lane, you know, I need to know, my car needs to know that this lane is potentially a straight only lane or a turn left only lane, and then plan accordingly with the navigation to make this happen. So I do believe we got a left turn here in a mile on Highway 6, which is going to be crazy. That's probably why we still got, I'm surprised it says 12 minutes. I thought we'd say 20 left, depending on, we'll see what the traffic's like. Maybe it's not that bad. But we need to make sure that we're in the right lane to be turning left at least 0.5 miles toward that destination, right? And on top of all these things that it has to know, right? How fast is this car going? Is that a human? Is that an animal? Is there an object in the road? Is the wind gusting at 15 miles an hour? There's just so many factors. It is kind of mind-boggling, you know, to think that this vehicle is going to be able to drive, especially after witnessing it 2 years ago. You're just like, well, this is an interesting party trick. It's kind of useful, but now it is even more useful than I ever could have imagined it to be. And the comfort, the safety, it's driving better than I am. We still got a little ways to go before feature complete. Some minor errors here and there, but that's to be expected. If it was ready, we'd already be giving out rides. It's a lot of work to be done. It doesn't happen naturally. There's a lot of work that goes into the AI team making this even suitable for us to supervise it, right? Kudos to the AI team. kudos to Elon for putting that AI team together. Yeah. Everybody at their light looking at their phones. And it doesn't look like Highway 6 is going to be any less busy than it normally is. So we shall see. We shall brave this. For our viewers on YouTube and X, state troopers are out. I mean, it's New Year's Eve. I expect there to be a lot of officers from many different departments to be out tonight. And our AI student driver has been driving. I haven't even been worried about a speeding ticket, a violation of any kind. It's crazy the level of stress that is being relieved from our AI, just from our AI student driver being active. We have a little bit more time. I'll let you walk the length of the park a couple of times this time. It says we got less than 10 minutes, but I'm feeling that's gonna change with all these lights on Highway 6. Yeah, that strap's got you in there pretty good there, buddy. I hope you're not uncomfortable. You better find a place to get comfy. All right. We're almost there, buddy. You've been a trooper. You've been in the car for almost an hour and a half. More than an hour and a half, really. You've been a good dog today. We will reward you. Just smooth, you know, not going too slow, not going too fast. It's Highway 6 is nice right now. It's crazy. Catching green lights. We need to take Barker Oaks Drive, which is, that right there might not have been the best thing that I've seen. It was kind of gambly, to be honest. I mean, no harm, no foul, which I subscribe to. But let's be honest. If anything would have went wrong with that 18-wheeler, we'd have been hurting. But again, we made the turn, we made the exit. No, not well. We made the navigational turn, right? So again, there's some minor comfort things when it comes to planning, but I mean, that's nitpicky. That's very nitpicky. But I do like how our AI student driver, it just circumvents certain congestion areas. Like right now, that we would still be on Highway 6 and we'd be at a light probably for a significant amount of time. Yet our AI student driver knows this. There's like multiple lights in that area. We just circumvented and we're on our merry way. Like I'm not even making that. I'm not even doing that, right? The navigation, I'm probably just staying straight. Our AI student driver, to say the least, is remarkable. Now, I mean, that might be another comfort issue, right? There's no reason to be in that far left, right-hand turn lane. Especially when you can just go right on red. I mean, that light saved us. I don't know, you know, typically you just go right when you wanna, but maybe there's a road rule that, you know, I'm not familiar with, I'm not privy with, and when I'm not driving, I truly don't care, right? I'm not in a rush to get to my destination. The only reason why I would be in a rush would be hurry up and get off the road. That's why I pass bad drivers. I'm not speeding because I love speed. I really just want to hurry up and get off the road, you know, because every time I'm out here, I feel like the statistic of me no longer being here is higher, like significantly, when I'm on the freeway or driving. You know, anything could possibly go wrong when you're talking about being in a vehicle of metal and glass and traversing 50 miles an hour. So, but if the car's doing it and the car is protecting me from myself and doing what statistically is best to get me from point A to point B, well, I'm not even really thinking about that in that sense. You know, it's a different feeling. I'm not in a rush. I'm not concerned. We're gonna get there when we get there. As long as we get there safely and on time, we should be fine. We're going back at Millie Bush. There is a lot of cars out here for the new year. Yeah, buddy. We got here, Chewy. Let's see if we can park this thing. I mean, this is part of the feature complete, right? When we get to our destination, are we a ride-hail passenger, or is this our personal vehicle? Is this something that we're going to get back inside? Do I need to park it? Will our AI student driver do this? You know? Now, it wants to park us as close as humanly possible, but I mean, this is obviously a handicap spot, and we're not going to park here because we don't need to do that. But look how it just parks in a spot, right? It just, the closest available spot it chose. I don't know. There's some glimpses in this motherfucker that make you think, Wow, we are close as we possibly can be.